Hello there, how are you? I want to talk a little bit more about women being a little bit creepy. And again, I'm pretty much talking about like high profile celebrity women. Now, at the beginning of each year, I kind of like to look ahead at the year and just kind of like think about things that I would like to do, like places I might like to travel, maybe different events I would like to um, participate in, like maybe a sporting event or a concert or something like that. And I have some relatives in Las Vegas who I've gone out to visit in the past. And I was thinking maybe I should go and see these relatives of mine in Nevada this year. Well, I was thinking about that, and then I was just kind of like looking around at different things and shows going on in Las Vegas. And Jennifer Lopez has a residency in Las Vegas right now. And I saw her on Facebook, little bits of her Las Vegas residency show. And I looked at it and I was like, no, I I don't think that I would go see that. And I mean, Jennifer Lopez is not my favorite singer, but she's just kind of a pop star with a long career. So, I would go. I would go. I would do it for the culture. Anyway, when I looked at some of the clothing she was wearing, which I mean, it wasn't really clothing, it was just, a stage costume, I was like, oh, I don't think I would want to go and see that. Again, I mean, she was just being a little bit, in my opinion, creepy. Um, and the way she was dressed in some of those videos, it's kind of similar to how, different types of entertainers in Las Vegas might appear in their show. And I guess people on social media said something about her clothing, and she addressed it on stage in one of the skimpy outfits. And she said, I am a showgirl. Now, first of all, Jennifer Lopez has been in the entertainment industry since the 90s, so she's had a very long career. And I mean, we can all debate, how talented she is, but she's had a long, successful career. She's been around a long time. No offense to showgirls at all, but I just figure, why would Jennifer Lopez kind of degrade herself that way and refer to herself as like a showgirl or like a chorus girl? I mean, my goodness, she's pretty much one of the most long-standing pop stars that there is. But to me, it's just creepy. And she unsold a ticket. I mean, I wasn't quite sold yet. I was thinking about it. And plus, I had to make some phone calls, see what other people wanted to do, and, coordinate all this. But I didn't even go further because I don't necessarily want to go someplace and see, a woman is standing there and, seeing that much of her backside. Just not really my cup of tea. So there's that. And no, I am not saying that Jennifer Lopez needs to wear, business casual clothing or Little House on the Prairie clothing or have a skirt longer than her knees. Like, I mean, I get it. She's a pop star. Um, and she's got to sell tickets. Like, I mean, I get it. But vulgarity is what I'm talking about. I mean, there's just a lot of vulgarity on display these days. And the Golden Globes happened last night. And again, Jennifer Lopez wore an outfit that was really just kind of vulgar. It was a dress, it was kind of vulgar. It could have been pretty, but it was vulgar because it was just one of these dresses that's very popular these days where it's a lot of it is see-through. Jennifer Lawrence wore something similar. Then they have little like patches that would cover, private parts, and they make it very clear that the wearer of the dress is probably not wearing any panties. So it's just like kind of like, to me, it is borderline vulgar. And again, you know, women or just being a little bit creepy. And people in the comments when I was looking at this show, little parts of the show on Facebook, were complaining about Jennifer Lopez wearing her out this particular outfit because of her age. To me, the age is not what's relevant here. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She's very fit. She's in her late 50s, but it's just, I mean, the vulgarity is just vulgar, just vulgarity. And it's just like, listen, I mean, that may sell tickets to some people, but it's going to turn a lot of people off. Now, I'm going to talk about this girl named Tate McRae. A few years ago, this lady, Tate McRae, went on tour. I was just looking at the T-Mobile Center website here in Kansas City, just kind of seeing what was there. And I saw Tate McRae. I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what this girl's about. And I looked her up, and she had one song which I was familiar with, just kind of a pop song, kind of catchy. And I was like, okay, good enough. That's good enough for me. How much are the tickets? But the more I looked into this woman, again, she's another one. I mean, just the way she presents herself, I mean, is borderline vulgar. The dancing is borderline vulgar. In a different video, I mentioned the MTV Music Awards, and she was one of the ones who I was talking about. I showed up to the MTV Music Awards, and honestly, she looked like she just escaped a hostage situation. And I'm just like, she can do better. Very attractive young lady. I mean, just dress in a way that's not vulgar. I mean, I understand. Go ahead and be a pop star. I'm not saying you need to wear a nun's habit or, look like you're in a gospel choir. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But it's just like, it's almost like people don't understand the vulgarity threshold anymore. And it's like, Jennifer Lopez is, it's like she's trying to compete with, some of the adult entertainers in Las Vegas. No offense to the showgirls, because I mean they are who they are, but I mean it's just like women just need to stop being creepy. And I mentioned that in a video before. I think I've mentioned this in a couple of videos. Sideline reporter from the NBA was being very creepy. She wore a shirt that was very low cut, and of course the men were a lot taller than her. She was in a very noisy environment, so they had to like bend down to talk to her, and their face was like in her chest. What's her name? God, Tony Braxton went to her son's college graduation, wore a see-through skirt. Jennifer Lopez almost looks like a adult entertainer for, on the Las Vegas Strip. Jennifer Lawrence wore this see-through dress. I mean, there's been a lot of see-through dresses for a while. And this girl, Tate McRae. And, I saw that girl on the T-Mobile website. I was like, okay, good for her. A young girl, like somebody needs to kind of push pop culture forward. But then I looked at it and I was like, no, this is just kind of gross. And I've been wanting to talk about the Miss Universe pageant very briefly. There was a girl who a lot of people were really supporting leading up to the pageant. It was Miss Ivory Coast, and I was on her side too. And she is an absolutely great girl. She is a people person. She has a great stage presence. She has a great energy. You can tell she was really, really comfortable in the spotlight and on stage. She ended up losing to Miss Mexico. Miss Mexico won. let me be honest. I understand why there was some controversy because I do feel like Miss Ivory Coast deserved to win, but Miss Mexico won, and I'm really kind of glad. And I'll tell you why. Because she did present herself in a more like modest image. And I'm not really one of these people who's like very much preoccupied with like modesty or whatever. I'm really not. But Miss Ivory Coast did what a lot of women in the public eye do. And it's just, I mean, that Miss Universe pageant and Miss USA pageant, it's just doing too much, you know? Like a lot of these ladies, they're just doing too much. First of all, they're on this stage walking, and the camera, first of all, the camera people do them a little bit dirty because they're looking up. They're doing them dirty, and the dresses are see-through, the splits are extremely high. It's borderline vulgar. It's borderline vulgar. As wonderful as Miss Ivory Coast is, I mean, she was getting played. She was just getting played by the culture that we're all in. Now, Miss Mexico, she wore a dress that was modest, and I looked at her Instagram, and she is a person who is kind of like focused on modesty. And right when she got a crown, like right after, she was making posts about like going to church. She's Catholic, and you know, I mean, there were pictures of her in front of the Virgin Mary and all that type of stuff. I'm kind of glad she won, even though I do understand why people are unhappy. And she's going to have to kind of step it up, honestly, for the rest of that reign. And if you follow pageants, um, Miss Ivory Coast turned down the whole Continental Queen thing. I don't know where the Continental Queens, the rest of them are. It was a bad idea anyway. They look like a high school homecoming court. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. Miss Ivory Coast will be fine. They gave an excuse, that people who run the pageant, who said that her passport, um, it wasn't as good of a passport, but she's an American citizen, so they were just kind of playing in her face. So yeah, I wanted her to win, but she just needed to turn it down a little bit, in my opinion. Some of the dresses were borderline vulgar. So anyway, there is that. But I mean, Miss Ivory Coast isn't the only one. The current Miss USA, she's also appeared in like a completely see-through dress where you saw like underwear, and it's just like, come on, girls, give me a break. You know, I mean, just turn it down a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not saying you have to wear, you know, suits or, you know, prairie dresses or prairie skirts. Just turn it down a little bit, you know, because it's just getting to be a little bit vulgar and a little bit creepy, and it makes it difficult for people to watch what these ladies do and admire what they do and actually appreciate their work. So that's all I have to say. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.